Hola. And that's that little doodle that Nokia made. You stop doodling in the back of the classroom. Is that I think that's just a stolen FLA file for BFB1. For BFB1. I think this is all stolen from BFB1. I'm gonna contact Jack and Jellify, the principal, and they will be contacting your parents. So it was the British people. Okay. Mr. Sheen World? Mr. Sheen World, are you Mr. Sheen World, are you booted in? Who just played the trombone in class? Okay, Agus is in. Agus is in. That is these hooligans. Oh, okay. Jesus. The torment never ends. I'm gonna mute everybody's soundboard. Yeah, I did not hear that, but I don't know how you got so many instruments into this call. And by call, I mean classroom. I'm not sure how this happened. Um, the SR music room is just electronic instruments, like specifically. So I actually don't know where the hell you found a real drum kit. These British blokes be wild. No. Don't open that, or else you get a virus. Yeah, actually, you're banned. Is that a zip bomb? Yes. Okay, how many sad SpongeBobs are we gonna get today? Yeah, this is a different one, but okay. Is everybody even here? Is Mr. Sheen World sleeping? Hello? Hello? Yes. Everyone's awake. Alf's late to class. That's true. Oh, hold on. Your stream is being a little wonky. You should stream your whole screen. Ugh. Video. What a noob. As that, yeah. I'm just setting up my little slide for the drawing tool. I'm doing my setup. I can't believe the British person played instruments in the back of the class and then had to use the bathroom twice. The lesson just started. You know, I think that's a satirical meme for being in Adobe Animate. Listen here. I know how the kids I know how the youth speak. Hmm. I am confused about one thing. Hold on, can we oh, there should be a teacher channel. I was gonna you're right. What? I'm not gonna watch your screen share. No, I hate you. Oh, never mind. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I can see that. Yeah, thank you. Never use free transform. Never right click on something to free transform it. Only right click it. Is that Skylanders? Yeah, we're gonna teach you how to make that kind of 3D animation in Adobe Animate. Yeah, the first step is that you um don't open no Kia, we're not opening Blender, okay? I'm glad that you finally came back to class, but we're not opening Blender. You already have it open? What the hell? Okay, it's fine. We can keep going now though. Everybody's in class. Guys, pay attention. Pay attention to the. I mean, we could tell them to not use the pencil tool because it sucks. I only use paintbrush and fluid brush. Wait, why don't I have the classic brush tool out? I should have. I should have that out. The classic brush tool is useful. Press the window key. No, like I mean at the top left, put window and then get rid of your timeline and then re-add your timeline. Oh shit. Okay, hello everybody. Um, I am gonna I'm gonna share my screen soon. I accidentally opened Premiere, so I'm just gonna wait for that to close. Um, here you go. Here I am. Yeah, Premiere needs to not be open anymore. Okay. Um, so here we are. Hello, welcome to Drawing 101 in Adobe Animate. As you can see, I've drawn a little guy here. Um, and so basically, I'm gonna go over all of the different types of drawing tools and also how to make groups of drawings. And then I think that we're gonna go over. Oh well, there it is. There's Premiere. Don't open an Adobe product on accident. That's the lesson. Okay, so basically, pencil tool. I don't use it, but the pencil tool basically will make lines. If you draw it, see it just sort of like smoothens out, like how it wasn't smooth like at all when I draw it like this, and then it kind of smooths out into lines that I can manipulate. And Subby will go more into lines in a minute, but that's for drawing lines. And this one right here, the paintbrush tool, is also for drawing lines. So you saw there when I did this, it creates a little like preview of what it might look like, and then it makes it into a line, which I can like grab different indexes of or change how much it bends and stuff like that. Again, I don't really use that one. The two that I'm mainly focused on for actually drawing are the fluid brush tool and the brush tool. The brush tool, you can press B to bring it up, and the fluid brush is Control B. Sorry, Shift B. Shift B. Now, the classic brush tool is basically it's just a classic brush. You can change all the different brush types here. You can change your size, your smoothing. Usually you want smoothing on 100. That way when you make a drawing, it's like doesn't have jagged edges. But yeah, basically this one just shows you like where you're going to be drawing, and it draws as you're drawing.
Not to interrupt you, I will say, if you're using like a square brush instead of a circular brush, which you can change from there, I would recommend turning your smoothing down for a square brush since it looks kind of weird. But usually you do want to have your smoothing up. Just wanted to
Yes, that
say.
is true. Of course, you will need to change these settings around depending on your type of brush. Um, Now for the fluid brush tool, which is usually what I use, there's a bunch of different settings for this. You have taper, angle, roundness, curve smoothing, stabilizers, size. Velocity and pressure are more for if you're using a drawing tablet. I personally draw with a mouse because taking out my drawing tablet is just too much effort. And I've learned how to draw with a mouse enough that I can do it. Um, but anyway, the stuff with the fluid brush is you get a little crosshair there that isn't this circle. You get kind of a crosshair, and um, it also draws as you're drawing. But again, it's a little weird because it's not a circle. But this is for more I want to say intricate drawing things. I drew both of these with the fluid brush. And I just did this, and then a dot for the eyes, and then basic mouth and stuff. The fluid brush tool is the brush tool that I use the most, but every brush tool has its uses. Now with groups, groupings are meant for specifically drawing and like drawings and other types of quote unquote containers, which include lines. Um, and let me just zoom on in here. I'm gonna use this drawing of Jello, the little Jello mellow, to show you guys how grouping works. Okay, so basically, if I were to press Control G, it would group the whole. Oh, it would group the whole frame. I don't want to group the whole frame. I'm gonna group just this for now. You can also press Modify and hit Group, but Control G is what I use. Basically, you would highlight over this, and then hit Control G, And there, now it's its own, like, before I grouped it, I could, like, grab the eye separately and the mouth separately and everything. But then I group it, and boom, it's all together. Now, I can double click on it to enter this group, and I can actually make another group. Now, let's just say I wanted the body to be its own separate group. I would press Control G, and there, now it's its own separate group. I'm actually gonna double click inside of that again and edit it so that it's a full body. And you might think, oh my gosh, it's gone. The drawings are gone. I just filled over them. But since you did it in the group, they're still there. You can right click on it, hit arrange, and then send to back. Oh wait, never mind. That won't work because these aren't groups yet. I'm gonna make that a group last, actually, because everything needs to be a group for that to work. But that is something I'm gonna show you guys in a minute when I am done grouping everything. Okay, so the eyes, we're gonna group the eyes together. So boom, Control G group. The mouth, Control G group. Cool. Now we're gonna have the whole body, Control G group. Okay, now editing this body. Now, oh no, they're gone, and then you hit arrange, send to back. Boom, now it's on the back. It's gonna be behind everything always. And since these were created second, they're gonna go behind this one. Basically, the layer order goes in the creation order. So since I created this one first, it's on the bottom layer because it built a layer on top every single time. But you will notice in a group, you can't access the timeline. A group is more for if you're moving a singular drawing with multiple different parts that you might want to change later. It's not more so for animating inside of an animation, which is going into symbols, which Subby will cover in a minute also. But basically, groups are more for if you want to make little tweaks to your drawings later on that aren't going to be part of the animation, if that makes any sense. Whereas with like a symbol, you can edit a motion inside of another motion. A group is for changing the thing that is going through the motion. But yeah, that's how you do groupings. So now all of this is together, and I can move the eyes wherever I want and then exit out of it, and then the eyes are up there now, and then I can, of course, Control Z and they're back. Now, one thing I will say for drawing, if you're gonna be drawing with a mouse, I wouldn't worry too much about like perfectness and lines and stuff. Like I have this open thing in the head here, and I have this little thing going over. Because especially if you're drawing storyboards, if you're gonna like go back and keep redrawing something, that's a bad habit to get into because then you're never actually going to finish the thing you're trying to draw. It's better to actually just do like a rough like thing first. Like if I was gonna do a human, we're just gonna do a little example here. I was gonna draw a head and then a body and then legs. Actually that I can reset. That legs, and then do the two arms like that, and then a face. Basically, you can see there's like little imperfections like here and here and here, but it doesn't really matter because at the end of the day, you can kind of see what the overall form is. That's more just like a production thing, not more so a drawing thing. It's just something to think about if we put you on storyboarding or if you're trying to storyboard something yourself. Maybe just let the imperfections go. But anyway, that's basically covering everything for drawing tools, I think. So I can hand it back over to Subby
All right.
to talk about lines.
We got lines. Beautiful. Ignore my SR wallpaper. So we got lines. So the first thing with the lines is these are like the meat and potatoes of Adobe Animate. This is very important stuff, so I guess pay attention. So with the lines, there's a lot of things. I am gonna make a new symbol for I'm gonna make a new symbol, or not new symbol. I'm gonna make a new keyframe for this, which you can do by right-clicking and doing insert keyframe. But I'm just gonna do this because it's easier to access. So I'm just gonna go over all these, I guess, in a line. So Jello already touched about the paintbrush tool. I will talk about the paintbrush tool a little bit more, because the paintbrush tool is pretty useful, actually. So obviously you can do this with the paintbrush tool, which you can't do with a normal line tool, which you can edit from different parts. But the thing about the paintbrush tool that's actually pretty interesting is the brush library. So if we go to the style here, we go to style options, you'll see the brush library here. So the brush library is a ton of random brush styles that you can get. I'm going to pop this out for a second. So the brush library is a ton of different brushes you can get. So we got arrows. These will work on any line tool, by the way. It just will not work on classic drawing tools. But if I want like an arrow, actually I have not selected it yet. So if you select something from here, if you double click it, it will add it to your style options. So let's say I wanted like, let's see what we got. I'm gonna go to artistic. Let's say I wanted like this cool paintbrush effect. So if I double click that, it will add it to my document, which will permanently stay there. In your document, it will not stay there permanently. I have to specify it. So if I go ahead and draw now, you'll see it'll have the style of it. And you can combine these. So let's say I wanted a geometric pattern. If I add that, it'll add it on top of it. So there's a ton of these to play around with. You can make custom ones. I have a hand-drawn brush pack here. There's a ton of options that you can play around with. It's pretty useful for like graphic design and stuff if you want to get into that. But I will not be touching much on that. So there's a ton of options there for you to play around with. Available for any type of line, but we will not get to that right now. So I'm going to set this back to the default line. So we got the line tool. This is pretty standard. It will make lines. I know, riveting stuff here, but if you hold down shift while you're drawing a line, it will draw a line in a straight direction, either diagonal, horizontal, or vertical, which is pretty useful for if you want like a line going like straight across the screen. I could then like curve, and this could be like a background or something. But that's pretty useful. We got the... From here, you can change the stroke size, which I already went over. All these things. Changes how the line looks. Pretty similar to how the shapes work, which I will go over shapes in a moment. But the thing about lines that are interesting is that if you grab any point of a line and you start moving your mouse, it'll curve it. So you can use this to like make like a bump. And something important with lines that you want to make sure is you want to make sure you have snap to objects on, which you can get to by right clicking on anywhere on the screen that does not have a thing while you don't have anything selected. Going to snapping and going to snap to objects, if you click it, it'll enable it. And what that will do is if you have a line, if you click on the point from where you're drawing, like on a line, if you drag it over, it will connect it. If you do not have this enabled and you're trying to do like a more precise drawing, what you can really just do is you can just overlap the lines like this. And if you click this part, you'll see this is a separate thing now because this line has cut it off. If you click backspace, that will delete it. So, like, for example, now I have like a mouth or something. Pretty simple stuff. Rectangle tool. This makes a rectangle. However, something you want to keep in mind with the rectangle tool is you'll see these rectangle options over here. Rectangle corner radius will change if you have a rectangle or if you have like a rounded rectangle, or if you set it to like 100, you'll basically just have a circle at that point. So that will change how your rectangle is drawn. I would recommend by default keeping that at 30 because it's just, I think the rounded rectangles look nicer, but if you want like a normal rectangle, then you will want to set it to like 0. Circles, my favorite. Actually, I gotta. The rectangle primitive tool is pretty similar to the rectangle tool, except for it will draw all of these as individual groups. Which, actually, these are drawing objects, which is kind of the same thing as a group, but for lines. But I would not recommend using this because it adds up fast and you will start to lag terribly. So I would recommend you just stick to symbols, which I will get to in a moment. Circles also have an oval primitive tool. This is the oval tool. It makes ovals and circles. If you hold on shift, it will make a perfect circle for you. But like if I wanted to make like a smiley face, I can do that. A little example here. Look at how happy and joyous they are. They're so happy to be here. But not much there. We got the Polystar tool. Actually, wait, I forgot to say. The start and end angles will, like, if I edit this a little bit, it'll make your circles, like, funny. I have personally never found a real use for this, but in case you ever want it, it's there for you. I'd recommend just keeping it to 0. Polystar tool. This one's pretty fun. So, the Polystar tool will make polygons by default. But let's say, so this is a pentagon, obviously. So let's say I want, like, an octagon. You'll see over here the number of sides. If I change that to 8, I'll get octagons. But if I want a different star point size, which will change how big our points are, so I'm gonna go back to the pentagon for this. So, change it back to 5. Let's say I want, like, a star point size of, like, 0.1. As you can see, it will be a little thinner. This is more useful for the stars, which I will get to in a moment. The lowest max setting on this is 3, which will make a triangle. So, in case you ever question where the triangles are, there's no triangle tool, it's a polygon. Delete that. Oh yeah, if you click and hold, it'll highlight everything, which is what I've been doing, which will just, like, if you want to delete like half of something, you can also just do that. It's useful. Got the star tool. This will make stars, which is shocking. But I can make like a 32-point star if you're insane. Standard 5-point star, which you'll see this is like really thin. So let's say I set this to my star point size to 0.9, and I'll get a bigger star. It's like more standard. 0.5 is a standard star, like a default one. You will be interested in this in the 3-point star, the 4-point star, and the 5-point star, which I already have drawn, because those are used in SR a lot. So, Polystar tool is very useful for SR specifically. Something else I want to tackle with the Polystar tool is the lowest setting again is 3. I would not recommend using this for triangles, but if you set the star point size to 1, that's basically a triangle. I think if you set it to, like, yeah, 1 is the max, but you won't really get a triangle with the star tool, so I would recommend using the poly tool for that. From there, this is the line width tool. So, this is pretty fun. So, if we got, let's say we have, like, a normal circle here. If we use the line width tool, we will be able to make certain parts of it thicker than others. So if I want, like, something like that, and do that. The way you can, like, actually, like, use this in, like, application is, if you want, like, if you're going for, like, a style that has, like, thicker lines at, like, certain accents, you can do, like, that. Oh. And, you can change where that's coming from and stuff. Pretty useful for stylizing things. It's also useful as, like, a replacement for mitering. I will briefly touch on the pen tool. The pen tool is my worst personal enemy. I'm going to say this. So what the pen tool does is it allows you to make, like, a line, and you'll notice that even though I've clicked down, it's still going. So if I wanted to make, like, a basic, like, triangle, I've got one now. But where the pen tool gets weird is if you've got, you can make, like, curves and stuff if you, like, click and hold from a certain place. It's pretty finicky to work with, and I personally just wouldn't recommend it because Adobe Animate has all these, like, line intersecting things. So if you got like a square here, for example, and I draw some lines through it, we can change. So you see how this has been separated now. So we can change the colors of this. Oh, that closes that. In case that ever happens to you, if you click this little expand panels button, it'll bring it back out for you. So I can change all the colors here. And yeah, so I'd recommend using that over that. In case you ever want to, you can delete just the lines by if you click like on a single thing, you'll just notice it just highlights that. But if I double click, it'll highlight every line of that color, and you can just erase all of them. So now we've got like a line list thing here. Back to the pen tool real quick, just for a second. I probably will never touch it ever again. The add anchor point tool will add an anchor point to your pen tool, in which case you can edit it from there. This is also useful for like if you got like a square. So as you can see like here, like this only edits from these points. But let's say I like really wanted to edit it from like right there. So what I can do now is I can edit it from there. Not that useful, but in case you ever need it. Delete anchor point will do the same thing. Convert anchor point tool will kind of just... I think convert anchor point tool just moves anchor points around. So if I have like an anchor point there... No, okay, no. This just kind of just allows you to edit your anchor points. So if you want to do like that, you can do that. But you can also just do that with your mouse by highlighting over, so I wouldn't recommend it. So I gotta talk about symbols now. Symbols are fun. So, do I have to talk about text yet? No, we are not talking about text yet. Okay. We will get to this text thing in a moment. I will go over the asset warp tool really quickly here. It is once again one of the most situational things ever, but if I've got like a square here, if I click this, it'll just open this warp thing, in which case I can now individually edit this as like a thing. I am personally gonna say you will never use this because I have not used it once ever. So asset warp, not that useful, basically. So I'm gonna talk about symbols real quick. So this is very important. So symbols are essentially sort of like groups, except for they're a little bit different. So oh yeah, asset warp does weird stuff to your frames too. Click keyframe. No, I just don't want this anymore. Yeah, this is why you don't use the asset warp tool. Alright, so what we got here? I'm gonna draw a quick circle. So we're gonna highlight all of this. We're gonna select all of it. And what you want to do is convert to symbol. If you can get that by right clicking, converting the symbol. You can now name your symbol. So I'm just gonna name this circle test right now. Name it whatever you want. Doesn't matter. So while we're inside of a symbol, you'll notice that we can edit this now. So say I wanted to make like a simple like potato chip. We're gonna make a potato chip. I don't even like potato chips. I'm gonna be real. So we got this like potato chip. Let's say I want to do some like simple shading real quick, which we will get to in a moment. But I will just do this real quick for this example. I can change this. I can change the brightness and our saturation a little bit. So we got our beautiful potato chip. Delete this line here. It's wonderful. So now, if you click out into like this blank area, just like double click, you'll go back to your timeline. And you'll notice I can't edit my potato chip anymore. Oh no, is it unchangeable? Nope, you can double click back into it and you can change it whatever you want. So, change that up here. And if you double click back out, you'll notice it is once again changed. So, and once again, you can't edit it while you're not inside the symbol. Symbols are very useful for drawing stuff, because if I want to do like a simple drawing here, I can do... This is the add layer button, by the way. I forgot to go over that. This will delete layers and it'll make a new folder. Folders are not something you're really interested in. They'll just like group layers together. But if I got like a symbol here, I can make a new layer and I can give my like potato chip like a little smiley face using the drawing tools. I can give him some like limbs. some feet. And he's walking. So we can highlight all this, and you'll notice, once again, if you highlight all this, since we drew outside of a symbol, you'll notice that I can edit this, move this around, I can skew this. I will get the scaling options in a moment, actually, because I forgot to include those even. I'll just go over that really fast. So, scaling options. I'm gonna go back in here for a second. So, we got scaling, obviously, just makes things bigger and smaller. You'll notice, there's a difference between the free transform tool and the selection tool. The selection tool will not allow you to scale things, but it will allow you to, like, edit lines. For the most part, you're gonna want to stay on the free transform tool, because you can also do that with this. But if you highlight everything here, I can change, like, the width, I can change the height. If you grab one of these, like, smaller lines, you can skew things like this. Pretty useful for animation. The rotation point is this little white thing in the center, which will change where you rotate from. If you go to, like, one of these corners and don't fully click it, you'll see this little roundabout icon, and you can rotate, which is very useful. And then if you just have it in the center, you'll notice it'll just go around the center. Useful for animation, which we'll get to soon. Get to it eventually. Just wait for it. And I think that is all I wanted to tackle with symbols. Again, there's a lot more to symbols than what we've talked about here, but we will get to a lot of these things later. You can duplicate symbols if you'd like, which will just make another symbol in your library. Useful for if you want to make, like, a pose of a character or something, and you just don't want to delete the original. I will actually also briefly tackle bitmaps. So, Squidward here is a PNG, obviously. He's a bitmap. So, you can convert to bitmap, but it won't change anything, obviously, as you see. I'll make it actually a little blurrier, but if you go to properties real quick, you'll see all these bitmap options. The edit option will just allow you to change what bitmap you've got selected out, so it'll just open your file explorer. Properties will allow you to change a lot of things that I just would not recommend playing with. Swap will swap this with another bitmap. Oh, I forgot about swap symbol. Alright, so if I've got, like, do I have two symbols here? Yeah, okay, we got our tween from earlier. We got a circle test. So let's say that I wanted this to be replaced with this. If I right click and I do swap symbol, I can swap that out for that, and you'll notice that now it's just that. Pretty simple stuff, but useful. Back to our bitmap explanation. So, tracing a bitmap is really funny. You can also hit this button just to convert anything to a symbol, so now Squidward is a symbol. You cannot edit Squidward if you go into it, because it is still a bitmap, but you can now independently move Squidward. You can also now... This is useful for, like, classic tweens, which we'll get to soon. But, like, if I wanted to, like, do like this, you can see it. It'll now do that. Clear keyframe. I will remove these frames real quick, which you can do by right-clicking. Alpha's here now, I didn't even notice that. Hi, Alpha. So, I'm gonna go over tracing bitmaps real quick. So, okay. I'm gonna go into them. So, whatever you do, if you're tracing a bitmap, do not set your color threshold to 1. This is a warning. It will crash your computer, and it will not be a fun time. So, SpongeBob. Yes, definitely. So, your minimum area is not something super noticeable. Corner threshold is how smooth it will be. No, Aggies, do not trace your bitmap at once. Oh god.
I trace my bitmap at 0.
Do you?
Yeah.
That's fucking evil. So if I set my, like, color threshold to, like, 100, now we've got... Squidward has been turned into a ton of fills. So...
Biblically accurate.
If I wanted to change Squidward to be, like, fucking green or something... I mean, he already kind of is green, so I guess I'll make, like, purple Squidward.
Red. Oh.
Now he's blue. So I can like, change his shirt color to be, like, green. This is my SpongeBob OC. I hope you guys like him. So, bitmaps are kind of just a funny thing to play with. if you ever want a good laugh, if you take a random image, the new SR character, yes, this is my new SR character. If you go back to trace, if you set the color threshold to like 500 or something, it'll do this. It'll just be like really messed up. So, fun to play with. It's good in the void. Yep. Not much in the terms of practicality with this, but very fun thing to just mess around with. So with that, oh, have I? Nope, no, I didn't. Okay, wait. So with that, that's lines. You can use a lot of things with them. You can write. You can do whatever.
Is it time for the first? Let's try it out.
Almost. You just gotta give like recommendations of what tools we recommend to use.
For all of them.
Yeah, I guess you just try out whatever you'd think would be interesting.
Use whichever one you think will work for the task at hand.
So we are going to do a let's try it out thing. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna give you all a couple minutes just to try things out, I guess, basically. So get doodling. Basically it. There's no specific things that you have to draw, just
if you want to screen share so we can look around.
Try it out. Yeah, if you want to screen share so we can try it out, I'd appreciate it.
Don't look at mine.
I am gonna make a new channel in the Discord server for this.
Don't look at mine. Oh.
I'm gonna watch Mr. Sun King.
I'm screen sharing the thing from Jello episode 3.
Oh god. We'll get to tints and whatnot soon too.
Yeah, this is an example of importing a video and converting it into a graphic, which is advanced, and that's gonna be like day 7. So, yeah, I just started doing that recently, where I can import videos. Oh, we have. Okay.
I'm gonna stop streaming for a second. Don't really need to.
I'm still streaming because I want mine up as an example. Actually, here, I could put this up, wait, this up as an example. There you go. Use that how you will, guys. Just look at my stream and use that how you will.
It's beautiful.
Do you see it?
I'm gonna put this on screen because it's probably more interesting to watch for the OBS recording.
Huh? I mean, you could show the OBS recording mine.
I guess so.
Just
Canon! I love Canon.
Just take a peek at it. Just take a peek at
It's
it.
beautiful.
Take a little peek at it. This is the first drawing.
I'm gonna, once you guys get done with drawing your things, I'm gonna go over exporting real quick. So just don't worry about that right now.
And put it in the let's try it out.
Yep.
Can I do that? Can I do that?
Yeah, sure.
Put it in the let's try it out. I was drawing this while you were explaining things.
Yeah, okay, so, Sling, what you're gonna want to do for that, if you're trying to, like, draw, like, the eye, you can put the eye on a different layer. So if you, like, double-click that part. Oh, do you have, like, drawing objects on? Oh, that's interesting.
There you go.
Beautiful.
Okay, I can close it now.
If you click like into like the draw, if you like group those together, you should be able to fill them.
Yes, save the changes to assets.fla and close it, please. Thank you. Okay, I can leave up the middle finger.
I will say one thing. Lines and fills usually do not mix well together.
You know what does mix well together?
What?
I'm not sure.
True. We'll keep the Let's Draw Together going until 2:15, I think. So in, like, a couple minutes.
Until you blow up the sun. I'm curious though, Nokia, are you drawing with like your mouse? Is this mouse drawing? You can like nod your mouse up and down if yes or oh okay. You can.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I'm glad somebody else appreciates the little. Okay, well that was. I'm glad somebody else
I think
appreciates.
Sling is having problems with the drawing like his lines converting the drawing objects, I think.
Yes, that is definitely a problem. How did we fix that?
Um I'm gonna be real, usually I just restart Animate if that happens. But
I haven't had that problem for a while. You can go to like file settings, I
yeah, if you
think.
go okay, so go to file, settings, I think it is. No wait, is it edit? Edit preferences.
It's edit. Yes, edit
Edit
preferences.
preferences, edit preferences. I believe that is under general.
Drawing.
Drawing? Okay, it's under drawing. So let's see here.
Maybe it's under drawing. I couldn't tell you.
Connect lines.
Oh, smooth curve. Wait, those exist in here? I haven't changed any of these.
Yeah, I've changed a lot of them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. I'm actually gonna talk about this real quick. Since I got this up, if you change your preferences, you can change like what connects lines and whatnot.
My default text is sans.
That's good for you. You can change your default text font.
Yeah, hold on, let me look that up.
Yeah, that's kind of just a problem that happens sometimes. We'll find a fix for you.
Wait, what are they becoming symbols?
They're
Automatic.
becoming drawing objects.
Just turn off object drawing mode. Okay, well, where is the object drawing mode?
That's a good question. I don't know.
How to turn off object drawing mode? There's a button on the bottom of tool column. When a tool is selected, it looks like a circle and a square. Yeah, that. Um,
Oh,
At,
I found
if
it.
you look in the top, yeah, if you open up your drawing, it's in the top right, in the properties window, it'll say object drawing mode, or it'll be in the bottom left underneath your fill colors. No, like, once you have your drawing open, like when you have your drawing tool.
Yeah, select the line tool.
If you select the brush, yeah, you see that little square thing right there
Turn that
underneath the
off. Yeah,
line?
click that square.
No, no, no,
Nope,
up,
nope, up, go up, up.
up that.
Nope,
Nope, nope.
nope, nope.
Right underneath where it says line, that big,
That one,
that
that
highlighted
one. Yeah,
square.
click that.
Yeah, turn that off. There, yeah, now you're good. Now if you draw with the line, it won't become a drawing object. And you can do that for all of your tools. Anyway, let's look at what Nokia's drawing. Jesus Christ.
Actually, did he just enable it?
No, he disabled it.
Okay, we're good.
You just didn't break apart the things that were object drawings. Sorry,
Yeah.
Nokia, that was my reaction. I put a shit into the channel.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Did you really? Did you just make this pencil sharpener?
She made that
asset?
yesterday.
How dare you? How dare you? You did the summer work earlier.
We got 5 minutes left until you will continue on.
So Nokia practiced beforehand. Maybe. That's okay. That's okay. We will. Well, I mean, we're allowing it with alpha, so I'm not.
Yeah, Alpha's just here. Alpha's like the intern.
Alpha's the intern. Yeah, I want to see Alpha's. Let's try it out.
Alright, so Nokia, a problem that you're gonna have here, you're gonna notice, is that since you've mixed lines and
Drawing.
lines and fills or drawings, you're not gonna be able to paint bucket that, which is gonna be a problem that you're gonna have. Which is why you usually should not do that. That's just a general tip. But too late now. Yeah, too late now. That's just like a more of a normal tip in general. Sling King has drawn a face. This is beautiful. He's drawing the awesome face. This is what we like to see. Alpha is the janitor. He's just here.
Real. My OC rectangular. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Agus. That's beautiful.
That's one of the SR characters of all time.
Truly.
I think this is the new OR character. Actually, we're gonna take that. New OR character, guys. You're now all animating for object relativity and not SR. Are you drawing Obama? Are you drawing Obama? It's an Obama lol face. You actually just drew in the forehead lines and then you deleted them.
Bro, I'm trying to make the annoying orange man.
No, like
How did you get Obama from the annoying
you put
orange?
in forehead wrinkles. You literally had them. You just had them drawn in. I thought it looked like Obama when you drew in the forehead wrinkles. I was just like,
Bro, no.
big forehead. Obama does have a big forehead. He's balding. He's balding. I can't believe that you would do that to me. Deleting those forehead lines just ruined me, and you are now banned. Mods, ban this guy.
Mods, get this guy out.
Mods, carpet bomb this guy's house. Are you tweening already?
That's crazy. MF did the summer work.
Yeah, but look at me. Look at this. You are doing this. You are doing this. I think I did the summer work.
You've been doing the summer work for fucking 4 years, little bro.
My bad.
My bad.
Coiny's wife dies animated.swf.
Dude, we're getting some animation here. This is advanced techniques.
Uh-oh. Alpha's dead.
Uh-oh. Gulp. Alpha just...
No.
Coiny's wife dies animated.swf.
I'm not downloading that. That's not... Can you open
No.
SWF?
Nope.
Pretty cool, don't you think?
You're back?
Now, but the recovery centers are gone. They got
How did
sent
you
off
get this? How
very
did you
quickly.
get
I
this?
gotta bring her back.
How did you get that?
She made that.
You made this?
Yeah, she made that.
Why are you here?
She needs to learn the SR animation.
You need to animate for object relativity.
Dude, look at Sling. He's fucking learning. He's learning his animations.
Bro, speedrunning SR college graduation.
Oh, he found the
Yes.
text tool. He found the text tool.
Want to see my audition thing? Yeah. Show me your little audition thing. Show me your talking currently. I would never say that. I would never talk currently. As AJSR, I would never talk currently. Let me see this little scene. Can I spoil an SR scene? Yes, because these are all animated. The first one you did. Oh.
Hey, Will, check it out. We're in an audition video.
Cool.
That's it.
Yeah! I remember recording that audio
They
4
learn
months
so
ago.
fast. That is all I did.
They learn so slow.
Alright, so it's T15, so you can keep drawing if you'd like. I'm not gonna force you to stop.
Oh,
I'm
no,
gonna force you to
it's so
stop.
sad
It's
the
time for
SP's
color
gone.
design. Did you why are you animating Jack and Jellyfeed?
Are you Webs for Ebs?
This is Webs for Ev's timeline, and I hate it. It's not in a symbol. It's all on the main timeline. That is actually an old Subby moment.
Alright, I'm gonna get back.
Subby animation 2021.
I am gonna get back to my normal stuff. So, I'm gonna go over exporting real quick, because I realized that we forgot to cover that, which might be helpful. So, if I convert all of this to a symbol real quick.
Alright guys, you can
Let's
go
say I
back
want to-
watching Subby.
Let's say I want to export this beautiful pipe. Super Mario. Actually, I'm gonna wait until everyone gets in my screen share.
Guys, everybody, stop screen sharing. I know you're really good at animating. You're really good at animating. Slinking, this is awesome. That was awesome.
That was awesome. Mario? Yeah, it's Mario. Are you watching my stream, Slinking? Actually, is Alpha watching my stream?
What?
Oh, Alpha's watching your stream.
Good.
Stop watching. Okay. Everyone's watching my stream. Great. Okay. So,
Good, yeah.
very simple way to export things real quick. You do this, you right click, export PNG sequence. This will just immediately export whatever the hell you have. But do note, if you have multiple frames, which you can find for your frame picker, it will export everything that you have. Everything. So, if you don't want to do that, you can go to export image. And what export image will do is it will export your entire view. So this is good for like thumbnails or something. This isn't gonna show up for you guys, but one second. Let me reshare my screen. Now it's show up. So you got all this stuff. Let me reopen OBS. Okay, so we got all this stuff. So basically, this will, yep, all that stuff, all that jazz. Pretty useful. There's a lot of export options. We're not interested in video and media right now, or a movie. Image legacy is just an easier way to export an image, but I wouldn't really recommend it. It's less customizable. Export animated GIF will just export a GIF of your timeline. Kind of self-explanatory. Export scene as asset, I would just not recommend doing. So that's exporting. It's pretty self-explanatory. Not much to talk about here. Gonna get rid of this real quick. So we're gonna talk about color design real quick. I love colors. So color design is a pretty subjective thing, I'm gonna say. But like, in general, let's say we have this little guy. This is Robert. His name is Robert. Oh, you can't see Robert's face because that is the same fill color. This is Robert. We got Robert. Meet him. There he is. So, let's say I wanted to give Robert, like, a cool top shine. If I was, like, evil. Very basic shading. We will get to more shading in, like, literally in, like, a minute. Let's say I wanted to give Robert a cool top shine, for right now. So, obviously, for giving a blue a top shine, we don't want to pick, like, pink, because that just kind of doesn't look good. Kind of just looks, like, really bad.
Hey, I'm supposed to do shade.
No, I'm doing colors, like what you're supposed to do with, like, colors.
Oh, sorry, yeah, no.
So, but, like, let's say I instead change Robert to be, like, pink. Now this looks good. Looks normal. It's pretty standard stuff here. So, basically, the idea with color design is you want to use colors that look good together. So if I had this, like, cool, like, four-way sphere, I don't want to pick, like, yellow and red and mint green and, like, dark blue, because frankly this just looks disgusting and I don't want to see this ever again. Oh, that's another thing. If you have, like, four colors that meet at an intersection, you can, like, move that around if you'd like. You can do cool 3D effects with that. We will talk about that more with animation. Alright, Nokia will be back in, like, 30 minutes. That's fine. We're just gonna go over color theory, so not much you need to be here for. The escape. This is a great gift. Thank you, Slinking. Okay, so let's say I instead was like, I'm gonna work with blues here. I like blues. So I'm gonna say that this one should be like this standard blue. So since this is the top, this will usually have a brighter color. We will go Since that's the stock standard blue, we'll make this a little less bright. And then this one down here can be the darkest. So this looks a lot more... Actually, this blue is kind of ugly. Wait 1 second. So obviously this is a lot more visually appealing than... whatever the hell this is. Obviously. So, that's just kind of like a basic overview of color design. It's kind of something that you're just gonna learn over time, but like... Oh, that's Squidward. I do not want Squidward. But like, for example, this rainbow gradient that's like default is like really disgusting and gross, and I hate it. But like, if we work with like a more like... Let's say we want to like a more pastel red, we do like a nicer like yellow on the eyes. We do like a little bit of a more bluish grade. This sign can frankly just go, but whatever. Say we make our blue a little more purplier. Our pink just a little bit more saturated. And we change our red. That's a lot more nice on the eyes than what we have currently. If you get what I mean. So, like, this is fine. It's just like this is nicer to look at. This is just like a basic overview of color design. I am gonna throw it over to Jello for asset design and like shading and stuff. Ooh.
Yippee! Actually, I'm gonna share my whole screen. Sharing windows, screens, all of them. Every single one of them, so you guys can see how awfully organized everything is. We're gonna also open that so there's an example of something that that we've done in shading. We're gonna move away from that. Okay, anyway. Shading! Welcome to shading. I'm gonna teach you how to do some basic shading and maybe a little asset design. I don't really know. But with shading, we have the three here's 3 shapes. These 2 are the most common shapes. I threw in a triangle because it's something wacky. And you don't really see it that much unless you're doing specific stuff like spires on like a castle or something. Triangles are weird. But anyway, these are all 2D shapes. So I'm going to teach you how to shade the 2D ones, and then I'm going to show you how to make them 3D. And then I'm going to show you how to shade them in 3D. Now, for most objects, shading is pretty self-explanatory, right? So, basically, these are all blue, right? So, to shade a circle, for example, you would double-click on it to get its full outline. Like, this is a weirdly... We're just gonna redraw this circle real quick. Hold on, because the outline for it, I kind of messed up. There you go. We're just gonna make this back up to 5. Okay, so basically, what you want to do is you want to grab the outline for the circle, hold down Alt and drag it, and then let go of your thing while still holding Alt. And that's gonna create a duplicate of it. And now you can see here, I mean, actually, what you should do before, like, you can do Alt and drag it and then let go of everything, and then press Control Z again to come back to selecting it without holding anything. And then I would change the color to be something completely contrasting this. And that way you can grab this separately from the actual outline. So there's not 2 black lines overlapping each other, because if they were both black lines, if I double clicked, it would select the whole thing instead of just this. So that's just a little tip. And then you can go over here, and this is going to be the shadow. And then you would basically lower the brightness slightly, but then up the saturation. And that's going to give you this kind of a effect. And now this is kind of just like personal choice for me. For highlights on circles, you can either draw an outline like this, and then like morph it to be the shape that you want the highlight to be. Like, say I wanted it to be that, and then I would raise the saturation a little bit, and then boom, there's that. Or, oh, and by the way that I drew just a normal circle I could manipulate without having any of its, without having a fill, is you grab this right here, and then you grab this box right here that's like the slash through it, and that'll make it so that there's no color, and it just draws a circle with no, like, fill in the middle. But anyway, another way that you can do shading is if I grab this color, right? I grabbed it, I raised the saturation of it, and then I can just draw on it. And that's for a more rudimentary shading style. But for the purposes of this, I'm going to draw a circle, bring it in a little bit, and then, that's, and then, do stretches on the edges of the box, stuff like that, and then fill it, boom, there, circle shaded. All right, now for squares, this is kind of a 3D shading. For squares and triangles that are like 2D like this, it really depends on where the lighting source is. If we're saying the lighting source is up here, shining this way, I guess what I would do is I would grab this, move it over, change its color to red, and then I would delete this outer part, and then move these sort of in, and then raise that to be slight. So there's a little bit of a highlight on it, as you can see. But that, like, it's kind of weird when you're shading 2D shapes like this. I would also kind of do the same thing for the triangle as well, where you would go in the direction, and then you would raise the saturation a little bit. And it's barely noticeable, but it's there. And that's how I do 2D shapes like that. But now we can actually make these shapes 3D. So I'm going to create a new keyframe here with these shapes. The circle's already 3D. This is now a sphere. So we're going to put the sphere off to the side over here, outside of our stage. And actually, I'm going to do something that might make this a little easier for you guys to, look at. If I do this and I hit apply to pasteboard, now everything is gray, which just makes it a little easier on the eyes than just having it dark like this. And you can still see the line right here for the stage, so there's that. But basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make these shapes 3D and then show you how to shade them in 3D. Now, for squares, I'm pretty sure most people know how to make a square 3D. I'm hoping. Basically what you want to do is you want to hold down Alt again and then do sort of like this, where you drag it off to the side. You might want to make it a little bit bigger, and then you can connect the corners like this. And I know it's a different color. I'll fix that in a second, don't worry. And then you can do little tweaks here and there to make it a box. And now that you have a box and not a square, you can shade this like, I'm pretty sure you guys all know Blocky from BFDI. We all know Blocky BFDI, right? So what you want to do for shading is take this side, and honestly, you can do the same thing that I did right here, which is, lower brightness, up saturation. And then you can come over here and we can up the saturation just a tiny bit. And there you go. Now you have a shaded block. You can do things like removing the lines, except don't remove the top, remove just the sideline. and it makes the shape actually feel more 3D. You would only really remove the top line if you made the color stand out like this, and then you proceeded to fix things like this and this not lining up with the top. But basically, you just want to have the top closed off like that if you're going to remove the line. I personally, I would also remove the line. I did over here on this asset. As you can see, I removed the line there.
I will say some people remove the line, some people don't. That's just a stylistic choice for you to make.
Yes. But yeah, those are sphere and cube, and then we're gonna make this triangle 3D. Now you can make a triangle 3D in 2 different ways. So I'm actually just gonna duplicate it so that we can do those 2 different ways. One different way, by the way, this is completely like, if you want to do different perspectives too, this is showing off the top, or you can do it like I did here where you don't show off the top but it's still 3D. Again, it's all stylistic. I'm gonna do the one where it shows off like the top of the shape. So you're gonna drag it out to here, and then you're gonna make it a little bit bigger. This is a triangular prism, I'm pretty sure it's called. Not a pyramid, is basically what I'm trying to say. It's not a pyramid, but there. That's how you can make a triangle 3D, you just extend it back. And for this, because the light is coming in from like this direction, like the light's coming in this way, this is actually this is where you would put a gradient, a linear gradient, and then you'd make the highlight color and the shadow color both this, and then you'd make the shadow color that like saturated darker one, and then you'd make the highlight color slightly bigger. I know that we haven't really gone over gradients, but that is how you do it basically, because of the weird lighting and the weird shape of it.
Alf has given a very good.
But again, just stylistic.
Alf has given a very good tip. The act of doing 3D shapes with only outlines on the outside is called subcornering. It is used in many BFDI assets like Lies and Katie's. This is true.
Yes, it is. Okay, now it's time for the pyramid. What do you want to do for the pyramid? You have your perfect triangle here. By the way, the way to draw a triangle, polystar tool, then you set the number of sides to 3. I don't know if Subby covered that. I was kind of blanking out, but it's fine. If you double click on this, we can make it a little bit longer, so it's not equilateral anymore. It's isosceles now. And this is prime for making a pyramid. You can draw a line down the middle, and then draw that down and make the pyramid like that. Or you can just draw one off to the side and make it like this. It really doesn't matter. I personally would draw the line straight down the middle and then do that, because it shows depth of the shape, which makes it 3D. And then this side would obviously be the darker, more saturated side of the shape, and then you can remove the line there if you want. And to fix things like that, like this little box thing there, it's a bunch of stuff with changing the corner and the miter and everything. I'm just gonna make it a round join point so that it stops being funky. But yeah, those are basically 3D shapes and 2D shapes and how to shade them, along with stylistic choices such as removing the inner lines.
There is one more way that you can make a 3D triangle, which is a cylinder, but like literally not cylinder, cone, but all you literally would have to do for that is take the bottom line and curve it.
Yeah.
And then you gotta
curve them like
and then you gotta
that. And then cones, yeah, cones you would use a circular base. Oh wait, I didn't do a cylinder. I didn't do how to shade a cylinder.
Oh, you didn't.
Here's how you make a cylinder. Take a circle. make it flat like this. Alt click it and drag it up. And then connect the edges of the circles. And then fill it. And then remove there. Now you have a cylinder. And the way to shade cylinders is with gradients, or you can do it a clever way, which is like doing a weird curved shade like this. Yeah, like that. And then you would go on this side and do something similar for the highlight. And then you would go up on the top of the shape and then make the top of the shape the highlight. And there. Cylinders are weird. I actually wouldn't shade it like this. I'd shade it like that, where you like have like a like straight off to the side like this. Or you can just do a gradient across this rounder edge. But cylinders are weird. That's why I don't use them much. I stick to these two. And sometimes pyramids. But yeah, those are how you do that. For asset design, we're just gonna go over a few. Should I go over these assets, like the basic ones? I don't.
You can if you'd like.
Okay, so for things, these are more intricate assets, so we're not gonna cover them. You can go over things like, you know, the Mars asset. For Mars, right here, we have it separated into 3 different layers. This bottom layer is the red circle. This top layer is the outline and the shade. So this is what it looks like without the red on it. It is just a curved, like translucent black. And when you add the red to it, it makes it that darker and it gives it the outline. And then this on the inside is just the little details. And then when you go on the outside, you go to properties, I gave it a slight glow. And that's how you would make an asset like that. For Swiss Army knife, this was a more intricate design that I made. It has a weird kind of like pill shape for the body, which you can see I just like grabbed this and dragged over to do the shading like I showed you guys. You can clearly see the parallel of the outline. And then for metallic shading, you want to do this kind of shine thing where you make like the outside one bigger and then you skip a little bit and then you make a smaller one on the inside and you make it drastically different from the metal if you're going to do a metallic kind of shading. Kind of like I did with stop sign here also.
I am going to say one thing as a warning, because I just realized I should probably specify this. When you're making assets, make sure that you make a symbol before you start making the asset, because if you have multiple things on multiple layers and you convert it to a symbol, they will all merge into one layer and it will not look good.
Oh yeah, like here you can see I have 3 different layers for this asset. I had 3 different layers for the Mars asset. Ice Teas, I think, has 4, yeah, 4.
So just make sure when you're doing that, you make a symbol
Oh.
beforehand.
Planky's asset's also like a nightmare. The way that we did Planky's asset is we have this outline layer, and then we have this. We included a tint, a white tint over here for like a highlight, and a darker tint over here. And then we took a wood plank texture, like bitmap, and then we traced it. There's a lot of moving parts there. And for the box asset, I basically just added these little dots, like using the style, and then we did like the striped. I just drew over it. At Subby's suggestion, I'm pretty sure that we made this asset while we were in the same room. I can't really remember though.
You are right. We made that asset on December 25th, 2021.
Okay. Well, here's this piano key. This is another basic box-like, as you can see. Okay, this is the original asset back from 2020. But if you go, whoop, there it is. Basically, it's what I showed you earlier over here with this kind of shading. Except, you know, oh, what? That's but you don't show the top of the shape. You just sort of move it to the side and then remove the line for the shade, and it gives it a 3D-ish effect. And then stuff like diamond, since it's crystalline in nature, I had to like do like 2 separate shades and 2 separate shadows. It was a whole thing. Basic complex characters, like, you know, like this fork, like it's a weird shape. There are weird ways of, like, for this kind of a shading, right? I'll just go over this. You have 2 separate layers. You have this with where you basically grab this line and you move it a ton over, and then you make that a highlight. And then you grab this line and you move it a little bit over and you make that a shadow. And then it transfers to the other layers, but as the layer width increases, it moves slightly to the right, but it stays the same width, unless it's like this, where it like shrinks a little bit. And I used that kind of shading over here on Iced Tea. As you can see, the glass, like, it moves over slightly in shades because it's above it on a different layer, and it's slightly longer than the glass itself. Little details in shading like that can help something pop out. Oh, and also for glass shading, the way that I did the glass is I have the liquid on its own separate layer entirely. And then we have just one big shine at the top of the glass, and then a shine down the side of the glass. There's a little shadow right here. It doesn't really add much, but you know, it's there. Basically, asset design is a little difficult. I think for watermelon, I utilize a mask, which we aren't going to really get into. But basically, what I did was I made this pattern, and then using this red mask, I made it so that the parts outside of the oval aren't visible.
We'll talk about masking on day 3 or 4, I think.
Yes. And this is gradient shading, as you can see. I did a gradient from here to here, and then I added an extra shadow. I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of visible. That was to add extra depth to it. Other assets okay, well, the assets are weird. Asset creation is a little difficult. And honestly, it takes a while to get good at. Like, if I ever release stuff that I made in 2020, you'll see the rudimentary asset design, because it doesn't have any shading, and the line art is horrible. And also, I didn't do it with snapping on, so some of the lines don't connect. By the way, that's another thing to make sure you have. You right click and you do snapping. When you're making assets and drawings, turn snap to objects on, and when you're animating, turn it off.
Yeah.
That's just basic snapping rules that most animators follow. I was taught that. I'm pretty sure I taught Subby that. I don't know, or maybe you just saw it from other things.
I don't know. Whatever.
It's just something that I was taught. So I just wanted to make sure you guys knew about it. But yeah, that's how you do shading with 3D shapes and asset creation and all that. So I think I can hand it back over. Oh
no, our lesson plans.
No, not the lesson plan. Don't leak the lesson plan.
Alright. One last little lesson today before we do one more try it out and we stop for the day. Importing shit. Except for audio. We'll get to audio later. So we got images, GIFs, and text. We got Squidward here to help us out with this one. I've already touched a little bit on this with bitmaps, but I will talk about it more now. So we are going to start with images. So Squidward here is a bitmap. You might be thinking, what is a bitmap? A bitmap is really just any image you import to Adobe Animate. So there are a couple of ways to import an image to Animate. So let's say I want like an image of Minecraft Steve, because I love Minecraft Steve. He's my favorite character. You can really simply just go copy image, paste in place, and he'll be here. Okay, actually, I should talk about the difference between paste in center and paste in place. Paste in center will just paste it in the center of your camera. Paste in place will just do it wherever. So, like, if it's never been pasted into a document, it'll go in the top right corner usually, or top left corner. But if I have move him like down here and I paste him in place, then he'll be down here. So then from there, I am going to talk about just like what you can do with bitmaps. So bitmaps aren't really super useful. They're really good for reference. So like, let's say I wanted to like trace Steve or something, I could like do like that.
Tracing.
And then okay. This button down here, by the way, this makes your layer temporarily invisible if you just don't want to see a layer for a second. But yeah, that's it's used for bitmaps. Another use for bitmaps is if you have like something like in your FLA, like let's say I wanted this text that I made here. I'll add the text in a moment. I can make it bigger. Let's say I convert this to a bitmap. If I trace this now, it's a little fucked up. You can change your miter and whatnot if you want it to be not fucked up. But like now I can like individually edit this. I can change parts of the text. An example of where I've used that, I'll get one real quick, because it's a little finicky.
Wait, wouldn't you just use break apart?
You can use break apart. I will
I'm
talk.
just saying, if you have a block of text and you hit break apart, then it'll break all the letters separately,
Yep.
and then if you hit break apart again, it'll make them into drawings.
I will talk about break apart in a moment, because I personally don't use break apart much, but a lot of people do, and it is very useful. But like if I go to promo material here, an example of where I've used using the bitmap method instead, if it loads. So you got my channel banner here. So this my logo here is a bitmap. Well, it's like it was a text, but I converted it to a bitmap and then I converted it to fills. So as you can see here, this allowed me to like add custom text here. I could split it in half. I changed the D, changed the B. So that's like an example of what you can do with a bitmap like that. We'll talk more about SR soon. We'll get to you.
We hate SR.
Yeah, I hate SR. Okay, so back to this. I'm going to briefly talk about GIFs. You will not be using GIFs much because they are super annoying to set up. So, if you want a GIF, what you're gonna want to do, pay attention. Make a new symbol, just like with whatever, because we're gonna be deleting this. Create a symbol. Once you're inside your symbol, you need to delete everything. What you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to go to import. One sec. One moment. I gotta like find a GIF first off.
Here, I'll send you one.
Okay.
Send you a really good one. There.
That's a really good GIF. Okay. One second. I gotta open File Explorer.
We can see the Subby-Spaced files. Guys, everybody screenshot.
So, I got my cool, despite all my rage. Actually, I gotta get despite all my rage on my computer. Like,
Two things in hashtag cast reveal. We are leaking SR right now. I almost did. I opened an SR scene I was working on.
alright. So, if I just paste this here, you'll notice. Oh no, my GIF. It's not animated. I'm so sad. Well, that's because you're gonna have to save this to your computer. Save image as. I'm just gonna save this to the VCGC jokes folder because I just have that open. This is a little finicky to do. Oh, that did not save as GIF. That's why that did not work.
Look at you. And Nokia's back.
That's great.
Almost in time for the secondary.
Okay, I guess I just don't. Do I not have any GIFs here? I feel like I should.
I'm about to buzz.
Yeah, okay, this is the thing about GIFs that are kind of fucking weird. It takes a lot of, like, finicking. Makes sense? I'm gonna save this to documents. No, it's just not showing up. Okay. Fun. You know what I could do, actually? I think I have a GIF in here. Nope, that's miscellaneous. Yeah, okay, why is this not working? This is fun. Oh, you know why it's not working? Sorry, Okay, well, import is just not working for me right now, but what you would do with GIFs is, you'll import the GIF, oh, that's Spotify, hi Spotify, so you import a GIF, and it would be like, it'll import as a bunch of individual frames, which is really fun. So that's why you do it in its own symbol, because if you don't, you will hate yourself. Because it will be all over your timeline, and it'll be really fun. I'm going to talk about text now, because... Actually, no, I'm going to talk about break apart first. So, we got Squidward here. I've already taught you about tracing bitmaps. But if we type... not trace, break apart. Break apart will basically just do a very similar thing to, what I mentioned previously. Tracing bitmaps. Except for it's a little bit more exact with how it does it. So now you can see we've got exact fills of everything here. So I can just like, oh, I can make the entire image green. But yeah, break apart's pretty useful for that. You can use break apart for symbols, you can use break apart for a lot of things. It's just kind of hit and miss where you'd want to use it. Alright, well, the importing GIFs has worked for Nokia, so that's good. So I'm going to talk about text, because text is really useful. So, I don't know how many fonts you have loaded on your computer, but you're going to like this if you have a lot of them. So, I'm going to set this just back to basic Arial for right now. So we got text. So, let's say I wanted to type the word, balls. Yes. So, we got basic Arial here. Now, there's nothing wrong with basic Arial. We can scale this, by the way. I just want to say that. But we can change our font size. It's pretty standard if you've ever used like any sort of writing program. These here, there's a lot of options for text. You can have this centered. You can stretch your text too. You can stretch text. Sometimes text actually looks better stretched. Depends on the font. But like you can see right now it's centered. But like if I wanted it to be centered to the left and centered to the right, you can align it to the right. Filters, I won't talk about filters today. But like I can change my font. Let's say I want like cherry. I can change part of a word to be a different font. This is a teapot font. So let me make this part like Flowers Kingdom. Jesus Christ, that's huge. Hyper cool. Let's do that. I can change part of a word to be a different color. So let's say I wanted like rainbow text. Sorry, kind of yellow. So, there's a lot of things you can do with text. It's pretty useful. Like I said earlier, you can trace a text thing, and then if I like, I'm just scale this up real quick. Because if you scale like a thing up before you convert it to a bitmap, it'll be higher quality, by the way. Just a tip. So, does not need to be super high quality for right now. It's gonna get a little scrungled, but that's okay. So let's say I like wanted like the inside of this A to be like a square or something. So I can take out my square tool. It's too rounded right now. 0. Take this part. Put it there. I'll delete that fill. And then you can see now I got a square. I can change the corners of these S's to be a little bit more rounded if I'd like. To make the L taller. Curved. Can you add outlines to text? I will talk about it in a moment. Because that has to do with filters, but that's the one filters thing I will talk about today. So, yeah, you got this text. I'm going to go back to normal text for a second. So, I'm going to briefly touch on filters. Not too much, just you could break apart the text and give it lines. You can do this, but I will talk about the other thing that I've done in the past. It's just like a really quick way to do it. If you're trying to make like a scalable asset, I would recommend breaking it apart and giving it lines, which you can do by like, if I go back to what I had before, which I've done here. If I use the ink bottle tool, we haven't talked much about the ink bottle tool actually. I probably should have talked about it earlier. The ink bottle tool is essentially the paint bucket tool, but for lines, so it'll just give things lines. So that is one way to do an outline. That's the way I'd recommend if you want to like scale it. That's good, because it's scalable. But here is the other more screwed up way to give text lines. Convert the symbol. You want to make sure that if you're using filters, you're in a symbol, by the way, because otherwise they will not show up. Most of the time. Sometimes they will. Sometimes they won't. So, I got my text here. And, like, I'm gonna make it, like, brand standard, because that's, like, default, sorry, font, by the way, font fact. So, let's say, like, I want my cool font to have an outline. What we can do is we can go to glow. If you click out of it, it'll show up, yeah, okay. So what you can do from here, set it to black, set your strength to like something like stupidly high, set your blur to like 4 or so, or 5, and you can see now that does have an outline. It's a little crusty looking, but that's because we have it at low quality. So if you set this to like high, and if I set it to like 3, we got an outline. So there's no way to like natively outline text, which kind of sucks, but there's a couple of different methods to go around giving text an outline. I'd recommend the glow method for like if you're doing like a quick like thumbnail text, because it's not really noticeable and it's probably faster than giving everything an individual outline. But you can see this does not scale well like at all. So there's that. What else do I want to talk about? Oh, the other way to import images is just go import to stage, and then it'll open your file explorer, and you can just do that. The difference between import to stage and import to library is import to stage will just put it directly on your screen. Import to library will put it just straight to your library, which is over here. You can see all the symbols that we've collected over the course of doing this. So, that's basically the basic idea of images and text and whatnot, but there's a lot more nuance to it, once you get, like, farther into it, but for our purposes, I don't use them that much, so if you want to use them, it's up to you, but the thing about bitmaps in Adobe Animate is that they're very low quality, no matter what you do, so I would not recommend using images, because what we're working with here is vectors, not, another thing, whatever it's called. Good enough, yeah, that's pretty good. But that's, like, the basics of it. So we're gonna go into let's try it out with what you've learned from the the advanced drawing techniques. Raster? Yeah, raster. So, we're gonna go have fun. Go play. We got like 30 minutes for this part, so.
Yeah, blow up the sun if you want.
Immediately gets the tactical cuke from PVC2.
Okay, we're just gonna loop my animation there. So that... Okay.
Feel free to share your screen again.
That is a squash from PVZ, definitely.
No, that's tactical cuke from PVC2 China. Get it
Oh,
right.
well, that sucks. Look
Get it
at my
right.
little... Don't look at my screen share for any inspiration. ROC 2015 Skylanders Tramp Team Snapshot figure. Oh.
Oh my god.
The first object relativity OC, genuinely. Okay, Anthony, thank you.
Just
Uh-oh.
hates English. Jim.
And
Twin game.
Elf.
Oh, did you
What
close
is
your timeline? Nokia, why are you playing Robot 64 on the job?
Yeah, Nokia, what is this? Why are you in a private server?
Alpha is drawing Schmorkton.
Of course, as one should.
Okay, yeah, your time. Oh, if your timeline closed, go up to window, and just
Yeah, you
click
have
the timeline.
Go
Make sure you have frame picker open, by the way. I don't think you have that open right now. It's okay, it's up at the top where it says
Okay,
window.
Okay, you're still playing Robot 64. I don't know if you knew that, but you're still playing it.
No games in class.
You already got that ice cream cone. You didn't need to do that.
Alright, wait.
What are you doing?
Do you see window like up at the top? It's next to debug and help. I don't think he sees window. Do you see where it says? Do you see the home icon at the top left corner? The top left corner. Keep going over from that. Not down. No, not down. Not. Oh, no. Go to the right. Go to the right. Okay, go up to the home icon. Go over. Oh. That's the minimize option. That minimizes your window.
Guys, strive for greatness. Oh.
Beautiful. I'm glad that we're already learning so much. Thank you, Nokia.
Yeah.
Yeah, traced bitmaps are like actually disgusting.
Well, now you can either watch my animation of AJ doing the I'm balling walk, or you can watch Alf. Square brush tool. Oh.
This is true. Alpha does use the square brush tool often. I guess he's back.
I'm just gonna give Nokia the OR assets real quick.
Okay.
Just for you. There's only 3 people who have the OR assets.
And Alex.
Hmm?
And Alex.
4. There's 4 people who have the OR assets. Other than you now. There's Subby, Alex, Schwero, me.
But you should actually I should make like a resources channel. It's a resources channel. Should mark that I play. He's so sad.
There they are. There's the OR asset. What are you gonna do with them? Are you gonna make clipboard and diamond Yuri? Oh yeah, that's in the files for some reason. I actually have no idea why it's there. These files are awful. What? Why? Don't unlock the hidden layer at the very bottom. Don't do the bottom layer 1. Yeah, don't do that. Oh, that one's just like that one's for me. That's just I don't like the fact that you just copied Ice-T. Okay, Anthony.
That's not gonna work.
Why are you stretching Ice-T all the way to the edges of the...
Dude, he's learning. It's beautiful.
The Nokia animating the Ice-T rig?
I was saying more about the Anthony drawing, but yeah. Look, he's learning.
What have you done?
I think at 3:15 I will wrap these things up. For we all have other places to be soon.
I gotta blow up the sun personally.
Ah, of course you do.
Nokia. If you hit window, and then you hit frame picker, and then you click on an asset, like you drag the frame picker over to the right side next to properties, and then you open up an asset, you can pick like different legs and arms. Because unlike Jack and Jellyfy, I don't do the swap tool, I just do frame picker.
I've just realized what Anthony's drawing, and I'm terrified.
Is that Ice T Sigma?
No, it's Willis R Sigma.
No, that's a bandana.
Oh wait, no, it is Ice T. Oh, you're right. No, I thought it was Willis R because of like the line.
Ice T Object Relativity Sigma. He's already a Sigma.
You.
Oh yeah, separate from the body.
You might want to use like layers here, maybe. That might help. The worst thing I have made. .fla.
I need to do like a whole. Oh god. I need to do a whole other lesson on how to use the OR rigs because they are not anything like how Jack and Jellyfy tells you how to animate.
Do not listen to Jack and Jellyfy.
Yeah, downloading all of their assets and then having to use the swap tool just like they did at the beginning of II2.
Well, I mean, we'll go over that with the SR assets. It's simply the same idea.
Yeah, the object relativity and the SR rigs are very similar in nature because I designed both of them.
The SR rigs are just more automated, which I did.
Good job. I designed the mouth assets.
This is
Practically
like
the same.
kind of like awesome. You have your line set as white. Actually, what might help you here is you could set your I didn't talk about stage colors, did I? Oh shit, I'll have to talk about tomorrow.
No, I did.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I also told them about applying to pasteboard to make it look better.
Okay, that's good.
Most of the time you want it to be like a dark grayish that's applied to the pasteboard so that your eyes aren't looking at a white box surrounded by darkness. But you don't want to make everything white because then it's just going to be a mess.
This is beautiful.
I love this. I love Ice Tea. There you go.
You guys should teach how to animate like.
He's evil, I see.
You guys should teach how to animate like gliding objects. You say.
Huh?
Like we gotta teach them how to animate like this.
Has Nokia seen the video that I'm playing on my stream on a loop right now?
Probably not. That looks gross. I love gliding objects. Hey guys, soon you'll be able to animate like just like gliding objects, just like it.
Oh my god, I actually know how to do that animation style though. Because it's just basic tweens.
It's so gross. They just keep moving. You've got like a white line there. That's kind of why that's not working. Right, you just go around it.
I just noticed something horrible about the background design in the GIF.
But
It looks like on the top of the trees, it looks like the
yeah,
forest
you just
goes
gotta.
forever.
You
And
okay.
then at the
Wait,
bottom-
it's not gonna work. It's the line. Okay, wait. Undo that. Go to your top layer. You have a white line there. That's oh.
One more learn object terror styled animation.
You can just delete
oh,
that.
No. Okay, to learn object terror styled animation, you need to learn how to make funny hand drawn frames, and
There
then
you
you
go.
need to do that for the whole thing. Yeah, sorry for showing you that the background of this GIF is also horrible, because the forest goes on for forever. Oh wait, oh, you're saying I see it for my animation. Yeah, no, I animated this at 2 AM and then sent it to Subby.
Ow, that hurt. I literally woke
Yeah, the
up.
sun is also over the forest. I see that too. Everything about that GIF is awful.
What do you mean?
The,
It's
the
gliding
blinking
objects.
I can see on the blinking I can see on cotton candy is way too over exaggerated. On the hamburger, the arms stretching is a little too much. Also, the fact that all the characters are they're just making expressions and not speaking. Are these?
This- Yeah, they're idling. This is just idling. That's
idling?
kind of
That's
peak.
awful.
That's kind of
Good
peak.
job. Thank you for the. That's actually really good. Good job.
Alright, sorry for the cut for whoever's watching the recording of this. I ran out of space on my computer.
Blow up.
Oh, blow up.
Probs Thomas in it. Thomas in it.
Alright, at 2:20, me and Jello will start our closing banter. So, finish
Thomas
whatever you
in
are
it.
drawing.
Here. I'll show you, Nokia. I'll show you.
Jungle of love.
Okay, Jungle of Love is actually the greatest song that I accidentally found. I was fucking right. No swearing in class, but yes. These Brits and swearing.
Yeah,
Wow.
only us cool teachers are allowed to swear.
Yeah.
There's so many Schmorktons.
Thank you for posting the one.
There's
Thank you.
There's so many Schmorktons now.
You're not a teacher, is what we meant. Sad SpongeBob.
Are you looking at Alpha's screen share with all the Schmorktons?
Let me see. Why are there so many?
Schmorkton.
And they all are animated too.
So many Schmorktons.
They all have smooth looping animations, and there's like 5 of them. Wait, yeah, there's.
He's making an emoji pack for Schmorkton.
I see. I would do this. I would do this if I was cool and it was 2022.
Happy 2004, guys.
Happy 2000. Happy 2000. Happy 2000 and 2000.
Alright,
Does
shall
anybody
we,
want the does anybody want
No.
free FLAs?
Nobody wants your OR FLAs, little bro.
No, I mean 1 hour 15-minute object show FLAs.
Oh, nobody wants those either.
Oh no.
Alright, should we start our closing banter?
Yeah.
Alright, so, going over what we learned today, I guess. I'm gonna reshare my screen. I stopped doing that. Sure, whatever, just go live. So we learned drawing tools, align tools, all of them, so many options, texting, symbols, bitmaps, tracing bitmaps,
Nothing. We learned nothing.
all of this stuff. So
Learned nothing today.
that's the basics of Adobe Animate. Tomorrow we will talk about, what are we talking about tomorrow?
Talking about Fortnite tomorrow.
Definitely. We're talking about learning the techniques. So we're gonna be talking about tweens, animation, frame by frame, a lot of stuff tomorrow.
Advanced animation techniques, custom tweens,
Yeah, we'll be talking about custom
Bounce
tweets and stuff too.
advanced animation test. Well, Nokia's doing that right now with the Ice-T rig,
Well, we'll
so
be
that's-
doing more of that tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll be talking about that. So
Oh my gosh, that's actually Jack and Jellyfy animation. Just kidding. I was lying. I didn't mean it.
okay, so I guess we'll. Oh, Nokia's not done. I know you're not done, but you can
Nokia's animating Jack and Jellyfy.
Nokia's fucking animating right now, little bro.
Nokia's actually gonna just make 80 different animations of Ice-T, and then just keep them in a folder and label it Ice-T, and anytime I speak, is just gonna post them as Ice-T reaction.
That's a really good drawing, Alpha. I really
This
like. I
man.
really like that.
Ice-T react him.
You should look up an Alpha's drawing right now. That's really beautiful.
Siskiyou. Ooh. Let me see. Siskiyou.
Yeah,
He's a eye, big mouth open.
Alright, so I hope you guys learned stuff, and I'll see you guys all tomorrow, I guess. I don't really have anything else to say, so. Congrats on getting through your first day of class, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
It'll be harder tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow's gonna be like a big day.
Tomorrow's animation day.
Yeah.
We're starting crisp and early.
Day 3 is probably the most important day, though, but we'll get to that.
The most important day that... Wait, when are we starting?
I have no idea. We have to talk about that tomorrow.
Same
not
thing,
tomorrow.
same time, same place.
We could do the same time, I think. Alright, so I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll post the time later tonight. So
Okay.
bye.